Do you think the drug money is hidden in suitcases? That it is concealed in warehouses? You are wrong. That money sits in your bank without you even knowing it. It is traded on your stock exchange, and the people moving it wear suits. Every year, criminal organizations generate an estimated $2 trillion. This is not a rumor. This is the United Nations' own estimate. $2 trillion that needs to disappear. $2 trillion that needs to become clean. And here's the thing nobody talks about. Cartels do not struggle to hide this money because the system was never designed to stop them. When $5 trillion moves every single day between banks, stock exchanges, shell companies, and wire transfers, $2 trillion a year becomes almost invisible. Almost. The first problem any cartel faces is easy. Cash is heavy. Cash raises suspicion. Cash has to enter the system. This is called placement, and this is where the most dangerous part begins. That is why they open businesses, car washes, restaurants, currency exchange shops. They mix dirty money with clean revenue. A restaurant that makes $50,000 a month on paper may actually make only $5,000. The remaining $45,000? Drug money. Now it has been laundered. Once the money enters the system, it moves. Fast. Across borders. Through shell companies. A shell company in Panama sends money to a holding company in Cyprus. That company buys real estate in Miami. That property is sold to a trust in the Cayman Islands. By this point, there are 12 layers between the cartel and the money, and each layer erases the one before it. Finally, the money returns. Clean, legitimate, untouchable. It buys real estate in Manhattan. It finances technology startups in Silicon Valley. It sits in investment accounts on Wall Street. At this stage, tracing it is nearly impossible. In 2012, the United States Department of Justice announced something extraordinary. HSBC, one of the largest banks in the world, had processed hundreds of millions of dollars for Mexican drug cartels, including the Sinaloa Cartel, including the Norte del Valle Cartel. Cartels responsible for thousands of deaths. The bank knew. Internal warnings had been made, compliance officers had flagged the transactions, and management had ignored them. Cartel members had designed special boxes that could fit perfectly through HSBC teller windows. This allowed them to deposit hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash every single day, and the bank processed that money. The fine was less than 2 months of profit. Not a single executive went to prison. Not one person. The Department of Justice had said that prosecuting the bank could destabilize the global financial system, so they made a deal. They paid a price, and they continued operating. Too big to jail. Real estate is the cartel's favorite hiding place, and it is almost completely legal. Here is why. When you buy a house through a shell company, a limited liability company, or LLC, in many places, you do not have to reveal who you are. No ID, no source of funds, no questions, just a wire transfer and a set of keys. The U.S. Treasury Department ran a pilot program in Miami and Manhattan. They required buyers of luxury real estate to reveal their identities. The result? Nearly 1/3 of the buyers who were flagged were already under investigation for financial crimes. Nearly 1/3 from a single city, from a single pilot program. The program was temporary. It expired. The buildings remained standing. After cartel money passes through real estate and shell companies, it enters the markets. Stocks are purchased. It finances private equity deals. Hedge funds are supported. At this stage, it looks completely identical to any other investment. Financial institutions are required to report suspicious activity. But here is what they actually do. They prepare a Suspicious Activity Report, ASAR. They send it to regulators. Then they continue processing the transaction. They are legally allowed to do this. The report is filed. The money moves. 12 million red flags, buried under paperwork, under budget constraints, under a system that was never built to follow every single thread. This is the question everyone asks, and the answer is uncomfortable, because the system that allows dirty money to flow also moves clean money. Stopping one risks stopping the other, and the people who have the power to stop it often benefit from it continuing. Financial secrecy laws were created to protect privacy. Shell company legislation was designed for legitimate businesses. Offshore banking exists for legal tax purposes. But every legal protection created for honest people turns into a weapon in the hands of criminals. 2 to 5% of everything the world produces, passing through the same system that handles your salary, your loan, your retirement fund. The story of cartel money teaches us this. Crime no longer hides in the shadows. It hides in the light. In glass towers, in legal documents, in the language of finance, inside systems so complex that complexity itself becomes a cover. The cartels did not infiltrate the financial system. On the contrary, they found the gaps the system had left open, and they walked through those gaps, quietly, in suits. The real question is not how they did it. The real question is this: who benefited from allowing it to continue? If a bank knowingly processed cartel money and paid a fine instead of facing criminal charges, do you think that is justice? Or is it simply the cost of doing business? Let me know what you think in the comments.